hold on. Let me have this beer because that was depressing. So I lived in South Africa. Everywhere people are using drugs in South Africa. It's easy to get drugs in South Africa. South Africa is a country that has 400 years of violence, 400 years of violence from the Afrikaans and the British, treating black people as animals, using colored people brought in, or using people from Malaysia and India and turning them into criminals. And in South Africa, the drug use is a big business that's supported by the government, by foreign countries and stuff. And these people work in concert with the policemen. The policemen don't make money. So the problem, once again, the people in the villages are and the townships are complaining about in Limpopo are complaining about drugs. It's everywhere. They're complaining about it. And they say police need to step up. The problem is that the police are not the boss. And the police don't represent the law. They represent corporate interests in South Africa. And corporate interests represent the drug trade in South Africa. Meth and niope are cheap drugs. And now they're making money off of poor people in villages and small rural areas. At the top, there are rich people from DA, from ANC and stuff making money off of this. And then there are transnational cartels from China, everywhere else, because meth is the green ingredients for meth are from China. The ingredients from niope are local or also from Afghanistan because it's an opiate. This is a big business and you can't stop it. Same thing in America. The black boys are killing each other with machine guns. It doesn't make sense to say police help us. Police are connected to the politicians, but politicians are connected to the cartel. What South Africa needs is a revolutionary change. Once again, socialism. The wealth of the country and the well-being of the country is controlled by the people. And once it's controlled by the people, the government will have no choice but to do that. So if we want to fight drug problem in South Africa, there needs to be a cultural and social and spiritual movement at the grassroots in which the people take over their country. But it's going to involve billions of dollars for education, for consciousness, and for awareness. What do you think, Afolabi?
I agree with you. And like you rightly mentioned, as you point in your points last time, you probably don't have that kind of money because of some other vested personal interests.
No, but here's the funny thing. South Africa has the money. So you answer the question for me. The country actually has the money, but what's the problem? You tell me.
The problem is the leaders from our little
beyond the leaders.
Do you know why I say so? If there's going to be a change
to its
I feel it's
resources,
it's going to be non-governmental and some other groups like that are going to wade in and make. I don't think the government can use money to do anything to stop or stem the tide of drug addiction in South Africa. I only feel non-governmental.
Afolabi, hold on. Drug addiction is a social problem. What other way can you solve social problems if money is not involved? Social workers, community outreach. And what's the definition of money? My definition of money is the value of the resources of the country, human and physical resources. How can South Africa solve its problem if it doesn't have human and physical resources? That's what money is. No, I'm asking you.
I understand what you're saying. What I'm trying to say is that, for instance, now, they won't give budgeting for this kind of things priority. At the end of the day, they will tell
and so that's why I said the problem is not the government. It's that there is no consciousness amongst the people. Because once the people come together, but my problem is that it's a conundrum because for the people to become conscious, they have to become educated, which involves resources. So now it starts off with, go ahead. Yeah.
And the majority of the people that are in this problem are not educated, really. Most of them are not illiterates. Most of them are not lettered.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Afolabi, people in America who make $200,000 a year and they're broke and they don't realize the government is messing up. Are they educated? They're literate. They can read. There's a difference between
read and write.
They can read. So they're not educated. So we never should talk about the peasants. Unless the elite, what I mean by the elite, the ruling class. The ruling class is not the rich or the middle class. The ruling class is the people who control capital.
Resources.
What I'm saying is that in South Africa, whether you're poor or you're middle class, Everybody is uneducated. Same thing in America. The world is uneducated because we're sitting down and we're watching a world war about to break out in Europe and in the Middle East. Europe, Russia, and Ukraine, Middle East, uh, Iran, Israel, and Palestine, and all of that. So my thing is that education is enlightenment. That's the word I would use. In
Enlightenment.
South Africa, the people at the rural level are enlightened, and the people who went to university and are making 50,000 rand a month, they are not enlightened.
Mm-hmm.
So now we need an enlightenment. But the problem about the enlightenment is it's going to cost money because now we're putting our message out here. I have to pay for electricity for this message to come around the world. You have to pay for electricity and airtime for it to come around the world. It requires money. So this is the war that we now have. And money comes from the value of the resources. So we know that there needs to be a socialist movement around the world. And that will solve the problem of once that everybody is educated. Because once people are educated and they know what's right,
Of
the
course, of
government
course. And you're
has to
absolutely
follow
right.
their.
Some of these people are oblivious to the health implication of taking some of these things.
Not only that, and they don't even realize that the reason they're taking it is because of depression and because they don't have jobs and because they don't have service delivery. That's why people are addicted to drugs. They don't have jobs. They don't have safety. Their boyfriends are beating them up.
They
They
are
don't have
depressed.
they don't have access to education. They're depressed. That's why they're using the drugs. So rather than say police arrest the drug dealer, no, let's say South Africa must change so that people don't need to use drugs. That's all I'm saying. The rural person in South Africa whose children are using their opiate, their children don't have a job. They don't have anything. There's nothing to do.
They're
They're
always at
depressed, so
home,
they're using
of
drugs.
course.
So they need to say, "Oh." So what they need to do is turn their anger towards the government, and then come together as a people and say, "Let's change our governmental policies and systems."